Hi, this is Andrew with Geek Preppers. Recently, we've been seeing a lot of protests and riots, and um, these things have been blocking streets, and there have been a lot of videos of people running through protests in their vehicles. And so that's something I wanted to talk about today. I want to start this by saying I am not a lawyer and I'm not offering any legal counsel in this video. So you need to make sure that you take responsibility for yourself and the responsibility of researching your state laws, as many states have started passing legislation pertaining specifically to this type of event. So what do you do when you're caught stuck in traffic or in front of a protest? The USCCA has written an article about this, and I wanted to kind of elaborate on that and dive into some of the points they made. The first thing I would recommend doing is, as soon as you see a blockage in the road, stop. Come to a full stop and make sure that there is enough room for you to turn around so that you don't get stuck. The first step of prepping is always making sure you don't end up in a situation where you need those preps. So you don't want to take unnecessary risks. And when you see a protest or a bunch of people out in the road and it's blocking and traffic's not able to get through, that's a good time to just make a U-turn. If you have to run up on a median or a sidewalk, that's okay, because what you're doing is protecting yourself and others. The larger one of these blockages get, you get more issues as far as people will be running out of gas. There are going to be people overheating in cars, and it's really a dangerous situation, even when you don't take into consideration the protesters and violence. So even without violence, this sort of situation is still dangerous. Now, if you're in the front of one of these, and that's not going to be the main situation, a lot of people just say, oh, just run through them. Well, if you're talking about 20, 30 cars getting backed up, only one or two of those are actually going to be in a situation where they have that option. Most vehicles are going to be stuck where they can't turn around because they're up on someone else's bumper and they've got someone on their bumper. You've got vehicles in front of you that aren't going forward, that aren't willing to run through that crowd, and there's nothing you can do about it. That's where stopping as early as possible is so helpful. That gives you the extra space. Turn around as soon as you see that there's going to be an issue. If you're on the interstate, again, you're kind of stuck. If you're not able to turn around in time or stop in time, the first thing you need to do is make sure that there's no immediate threat to you. If there is, take action. But if there's no immediate direct threat, then your first thing should be to call the police, because there is a potential threat. And that is this blockage. That is where there's people in the road, they're protesting, and they're endangering people's lives, and there's potential violence. So that needs to be addressed. Dial 911 in that situation. If there's an immediate threat to you, and this is something you need to assess, what is an immediate threat? If you see people who are armed, that is an immediate threat if they're in this protest. So if your vehicle is getting surrounded by pedestrians, I would consider that a threat. And once people start hitting on your car, any sort of assault, if they're denting the car, banging on the windows, things like that, then that is a threat. And once you are threatened, that is when you need to get out immediately, in any way you can. As I would consider it, anyone who is aiding in the block at that point is aiding the assault. But that is something that you have to make a decision for yourself. Because if you do run over or even just bump or nudge someone with your vehicle, you have to be prepared to go to court for that and to face vehicular assault charges, even if you just nudge someone. So that is why you have to be 100% certain that you are in danger at the time that you take that kind of action. So once you've come to a stop, the first thing you need to do when you see that you're going to be stuck there for a while is take an account of everything in your vehicle. Get together your bug out bag or whatever other, your trunk bag, whatever you've got. In case you have to abandon your vehicle, you want to make sure that you've got any firearms, that you're not leaving anything in the vehicle. The last thing you want to do is abandon a vehicle with firearms still in it. So you want to make sure that everyone else in your vehicle is on the same page as you, and that they're willing to follow your instructions. Because a huge setback would be if you were to tell someone to move or to stay put and they not follow your instructions. That can be a very big issue when it comes to personal safety, and the other people in your vehicle could very well put you in danger through their actions. So you want to make sure that you talk to everyone else in your vehicle, make sure they're on the same page as you. There are some situations where abandoning your vehicle might actually be the best move. If you're in a downtown area and you start seeing a large riot moving towards you, being in your vehicle is probably not going to be as safe as getting out and getting into a shop or a store where you can barricade yourself better. One of the other very important things that article brought up was to be sure to have your camera out. Take video. Being able to have people's faces on camera is a deterrent. And finally, if and only if you feel that your life is in danger, in that situation, remember that you can only use reasonable force. That means go as slow as you can in order to not injure the people that you are pushing aside. Because that should be the goal, is to push them aside, not run them over. To go over these steps again, the first thing you want to do is stop. Then assess the threat. Turn around, if possible, and dial 911 as soon as it is safe for you to do so. Take inventory of all your critical items and people in your vehicle. Communicate with everyone in your vehicle. Take video. And secure all firearms. If you see a threat from a distance that is moving closer, a large crowd, you'll want to move to the most safe place for you personally. So that's all I've got for you today. This is my checklist. This is for me personally. I'm not telling you that this is the best legal advice. This is just my take on the topic. So if I got anything wrong, or if you disagree with some of my opinions, just let me know.